Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Art of Creation Homestead. It's the Christmas season. We're under 10 days away, right? So it's time to be thinking and making these Christmas desserts, Christmas cookies and candies and whatever. So today we're making crack. We're making Angela K's peanut butter, white chocolate, Christmas crack, peanut butter, white chocolate, cracker, toffee. Okay, maybe some people not calling it crack. I can say, let's go eat some crack. No, it's cracker, toffee. Okay, but Angela K is gonna show you how to get it done. Okay.
Okay, so first you want to start out with 40 saltine crackers, and contrary to popular belief, crackers are not square.
No.
So the perforated lines, because you will see perforated lines only on two sides of most crackers. You want to put them perforated side out back and forth, not up and down, because otherwise you won't fit 40 on there.
Interesting.
This is just a typical cookie sheet or jelly roll pan, and yes, I have got it lined with foil.
No choice.
No choice. For those of you who do not like foil touching your food, we don't either. But you cannot do this straight on the pan. You will not get it off the pan.
Yeah.
You cannot do this on parchment. Parchment will stick to it badly and leave behind pieces of parchment that you will never get off, so you will be eating parchment. Foil is the only thing that works with this. And this is one time a year.
Yeah. If you're foil cautious, we get it, but you think one time ain't gonna hurt you.
This is one time a year.
Yep, okay.
So with that public service announcement out of the way, let's go over to the stove. Okay, in this heavy bottom sauce pot, we have 1.5 sticks, which is 3/4 of a cup of unsalted butter. I am using real butter. I wouldn't really recommend margarine for this. I'm sure there's people who do it, but I wouldn't really recommend it. We have 1 cup of packed light brown sugar. And now you want to melt this together until the sugar is dissolved, the butter is all melted, and it starts to bubble really good. You want it to bubble, thicken just a little bit, and it will start to smell very caramely. It'll start to smell like caramel. And you will actually see it look more like caramel in your pot. The color of it will change to more of a caramely color. That will, depending on how high you have your heat, if you have a heavy bottom pot, you can turn your heat on about medium. If your pot isn't so heavy bottom, you may want to turn it on medium low. Depending on how high you turn your heat, it could take anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes to get to that point. Once it melts, once everything melts, you have to wait till everything melts before you start timing it. Okay, as you can see, it's bubbling really good. We're not yet at a full rolling boil yet. You want it to get to a full rolling boil. And pretty much when it gets to that full rolling boil, it's pretty much ready.
So, I'm watching you through the camera. Be aware, use a silicone spatula if you can. Yeah. Because it won't stick so hard to that. If you use a wooden spatula, and that shirt, you're going to show it. Okay. Yeah. If you use a wooden spatula, it's just going to really mess up.
It will stick to your wooden spoon really bad. Yeah. And it will be very hard to get off your wooden spoon.
Looking for a good brand. That's a good brand.
Dioro is the best.
Good brand. Get on Amazon.
So at this point, when it gets to a boil like that, when it's not full rolling yet, but it's like that, don't stir it anymore. Because all you're going to do is cause it to crystallize. Okay. So leave it alone until it comes to a full boil. I'll show you what it looks like when it's there. Okay, as you can see, the bubbles are getting really big now. And it's starting to cook really hard. And you're starting to smell caramel. You don't want it to go too far at this point. When it gets to this point, you probably have a minute or less when it gets to this point.
Have your ingredients pre-measured here too, by the way.
Because it moves really quick, and you have to move really quick with it.
Oven preheated to 375.
Yes, thank you for reminding me to say that. The oven is preheated to 375.
Because if you're cooking along, you want to have all this stuff done at this point.
Yes. You want to, just like with any candy making, everything has to be pre-measured.
It goes quickly.
Because it goes very quickly, and you have to be ready. So I'm going to give it one little brush around the edges, just to see where it's at. One little brush through the middle, so I can see where it's at. And as you can see, it did not even stop its boil because of that. And you're starting to get wafts of caramel smell.
Oh, yeah, you can smell it.
And you can see that it's getting thicker.
Yeah.
It's getting very thick at this point. When you bring up some on your spoon, see, it's getting very thick. And how it's dripping off, it's just glopping off. And see how it just slides off of a silicone spatula? That's why you need to use a silicone spatula for this. So at this point, I would call this done. Get a really good caramel smell. And that's when you know it's ready, is when you get a really good caramel smell. I'm adding a teaspoon, roughly measured, of vanilla.
And it's going to sizzle.
It's going to sizzle.
Hot and cold.
And we're adding a half a cup of creamy peanut butter. Like Jason said, I already have that measured out.
Yeah, you're going to need it measured.
Now you want to stir that peanut butter in very vigorously until it melts. It's gonna want to look separated on you. It's fine if it does. You got to remember, with cracker toffee, this has got to go in the oven.
Don't panic, just move quickly.
Yes. Just stir quickly. Now we'll pour it over our crackers. Just pour it slowly, kind of drizzle it. Make sure you get some over everything. But you are going to spread it around, so you don't have to be too precise, because you are actually going to spread it around. So now you want to spread it out to the corners. Make sure everybody gets some love. Make sure everybody gets some peanut butter caramel love. And just try to make sure that there are no crackers without anything on it. Yeah. Sometimes it's a little hard to get it that way, but just keep pushing it out, because it wants to firm up on you, because it's already getting thick on me.
Yeah, yeah.
As I'm pushing it, you can feel it already getting thick on you. Now we're going to pop this into the oven, into a 375 degree oven, for about 7 to 10 minutes until it's nice and bubbly, because you want everything to be bubbly. As you can see, it's bubbling really well. It was in there for about 8.5 minutes. Like I said, 7 to 10 depending on your oven. Now you want it to sit and calm down just a little bit for about a minute, because you want it to calm down. Otherwise, your chips are going to melt in with this, and it's going to all spread together. So you want it to calm down just a little bit. Just
so
about a minute.
You don't want your chips melted.
You want them to melt.
Okay.
But you don't want them to melt in with it.
I see.
Because then it's going to swirl together, and you want a layer of chocolate on top.
I see.
Now, as you can see, it's starting to change color, and the bubbling is stopping. So I'm going to take a cup and a half of white chocolate chips. You can do anywhere from a cup and a half to an entire bag. Depends on how big of a layer of white chocolate you want. It's honestly, the chocolate part is all up to you. It doesn't really have to be an exact when it comes to the chocolate layer. It depends on how much chocolate you want. And let me tell you, if you've never had white chocolate and peanut butter together, it's a match made in heaven. So now, if they don't seem like they're melting like you want them to melt, then you can put them back in the oven just briefly until they start till your chocolate chips start to weep a little, because you do want them to start to melt on you. Now, you want to leave them until they start to look shiny. When they start to look shiny, you know they're ready to spread, because you know they're melting. If they don't get to that shiny point, just put it in the oven, which is still warm. Even though it's off, it's still warm. And it will make them shiny in a matter of about a minute. Okay, as you can see, I've started spreading it. I did have to put mine in the oven that is turned off for a couple of minutes, because it depends on what quality of white chocolate you are using.
That's interesting. Yeah.
If you are using a quality white chocolate chips that is actual white chocolate, it's going to take longer to melt, and you will need to put it in the oven. If you're using like Nestle, that can't technically be called white chocolate. So you'll notice it's called vanilla.
Is it really?
They're called vanilla chips.
I didn't know that.
Nestle calls theirs vanilla chips because it doesn't have enough cocoa butter in it to technically be called chocolate. Oh. So they have to call them vanilla. Those will melt very quickly. You won't have to put it in the oven. If you have a good brand that is actual white chocolate, it's going to be a little more fiddly. Like this has been a little more fiddly.
Fiddly?
Yes, fiddly. That's another one of my words, like oochin.
I thought it was Charlie Daniels. He played the fiddle.
Yeah, he played the fiddle. Now,
fiddly.
Now it's going to take a few minutes to spread it around. Now, if you don't, I personally love this marbled look where it kind of mixes a little bit with the peanut butter caramel. I kind of love that marbly look. It's beautiful. If you don't like that marbly look and you want your top layer to be completely white, don't throw your chips on. Melt them in the microwave and pour the melted chocolate over. But I like this look. To me, it gives it this marble effect and also it makes the white chocolate taste really good when it's mixed with the peanut butter caramel. It makes the white chocolate taste really good when it's mixed like this. Now, like I said, because I'm using, if you want to know, the brand that I'm using is Guittard. If you don't know about Guittard, they are a small company in San Francisco that makes their chocolate in small batches. It's very pure chocolate. It's not, it hasn't got a lot of preservatives, or, well, it has no preservatives, I'll put it that way. So it's a little more fiddly to get on here because it is pure white chocolate, so it's a little more fiddly to melt it and to get it on here, but I promise you the taste is worth it. It don't just taste like vanilla chips. It actually tastes like white chocolate. So I'm going to finish spreading this and I'll show you what it looks like when it's there. Okay, this is completely done and spread out. It looks so beautiful. I don't know that this can convey on camera.
Well, no, personally looking through the screen, it looks a little gray when I'm back. It's not gray. It's just the white balanced from the white and then the lights and stuff.
It actually looks, in real life, it looks like a sheet of marble. The way it's marbled, it looks almost like a piece of marble.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
It's already starting to set up on me. You want it to set up completely. You want your chocolate to set up hard. You want your toffee to set up hard. Right now, it still has, I'm putting my hand on the bottom of the pan. It's still pretty hot. I can touch it, but it's still hot. So it's going to take probably a good half an hour or so before Jason can take it.
I would say longer.
Before Jason can taste it, it'll probably take a good half an hour.
You're going to set it on your cookie cooling rack?
I'm going to set it on a cooling rack. That way air can circulate under it.
Yeah.
But it probably will take a good half an hour, if not longer, before it sets up completely. If you can't wait, if you have to have it soon because you're taking it somewhere or you just are impatient, you can pop it in the refrigerator.
Yeah.
And it will set up quicker. So we'll be back and Jason will taste it. I did end up putting this in the refrigerator because it's...
Just to speed it up.
Yeah, because it's pretty warm in our kitchen right now for making candy. And as you can see, it's all one piece now.
Yep.
And your foil is coming off really good. Yep. So now we're going to break it into pieces.
Just break it however you want.
Yep, just break it into chunks however you want it. Big, little, whatever.
And when I break it up, I'm gonna taste it and finish this up. Listen, now while she's breaking that up, I'm gonna show you a piece of it right here. See, look at that. And it's gonna be varied levels of thickness of that white chocolate mixture. That's just how it's gonna be because you're not gonna get it spread completely even, and that's totally fine. It's gonna be delicious no matter what. So now this is a little cool, a little cold right now because it's been in the fridge. So you can store it in the fridge if you want it cold, or out in an airtight container on your counter or on the kitchen island if you want it room temperature. It's totally okay no matter what, and it's gonna be delicious. It's awesome, super good. A little sweet, salty, caramelly, crunchy cracker mix. It's awesome, so good. And
highly addictive. Why it's called crack. Let's be honest with you. That is so delicious. We don't eat a ton of sweets anymore. I'm gonna have to be careful that I don't eat all this. It's so good. So tasty. I'm thoroughly enjoying this. Angel K did a great job as usual. It's amazing. Great spin, a great crack recipe, honestly. Christmas crack, cracker toffee, whatever. Right? But thank you guys so much for watching. We do appreciate it. My name is Jason. It's Angela K. It's the Archer Creation Home. So we love y'all. God bless you and goodbye.